Hello friends, it's Carissa. I wanted to jump on here to talk with you today about the healing power of harmony. And what I mean by harmony for the intents and purposes of this video is two or more musical tones playing simultaneously to create a harmony. And what we call this, when there's one note here and another note here, that's an interval. There's a space between the notes, and we name that interval numerically according to how many semitones are in between the two notes. What I'd like to show you today is something that we did in a gathering called the Healing Harmony Circle that I used to hold pre-COVID. And we would get together in a room, we sit in a circle, and in the middle of the room I had a big crystal singing bowl because they make really clear, loud tones that can cut through a group of people all singing. So I'd play the bowl, and then everybody would just start toning on vowel sounds, the whole group. And it was kind of like an impromptu or improvisational choir. We had no sheet music. There were no songs or melodies that people had to learn or stick to. It was just a practice of using your voice, which is a powerful healing instrument for every person. If you can make a sound, your body and your energy field love that sound, and that is the fastest way to center yourself, to harmonize your field, all the vibrations in your field, to get them all humming in a more harmonious way, and to have a sense of peace, to feel actual peace, an experience of peace, rather than intellectualizing peace. And what does that mean? And what kind of mental gymnastics can I do so that I feel okay about all this madness? It's like, no, it's not thinking peace. It's being peace, bringing your field into a harmonic centeredness that you can only get by being, not by thinking about things. So I was leafing through this book. But this book, Fabien Maman, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, he's French, shows us the potential of what we can do with sound, with intervals, with harmony, and using the power of our own voice. Now, there are some people out there making some wild and mostly unsubstantiated claims about the power of sound therapy. There are also some people out there who are completely poo-pooing it as woo, as something we don't need to look at. And these are some of the same people who will go and get an ultrasound at the doctor and believe what they see. So we won't go there about that. Essentially, it's a really good idea not to get caught up in totally shutting out and poo-pooing things like this. And it's also a great idea not to get so caught up in the land of woo that you start ignoring your own guidance for what you really need because you think, oh, well, if everything's vibration and sound is vibration, I should be able to heal anything in my system with positive affirmations and a tuning fork. Which for you, that may be true for this particular thing you got going on, or it might not be true, and it might be something you just need to go to the doctor for to get some antibiotics and you'll be fine. So my stance on this is we have all potential. All power lives within us and through us. The potential of our species to heal ourselves using sound, light, energy, intention, consciousness is there. But a lot of us are not at a level of consciousness where we can take these really fine, subtle tools, these energy tools, and heal ourselves with it yet. We're not there yet. Our consciousness and our vibration is not in a place where just having a thought is going to cure whatever's going on in your body, mind field. So let's be open, let's be flexible, and let's allow things like sound therapy to come in, try it out, see how we like it, see if it's working. And at the same time, if it's not, don't be afraid to say, you know what, that was an experiment, it didn't work, I'm going to move on to the next thing now that might work for me. So today, this is what I'm playing around with, some of the ideas in this book, and they are foundational to what I shared in the Healing Harmony Circles, that intervals heal, singing harmony heals, and you will feel the results of it, whether you go get a test or not to quantify something scientifically. You will feel the results of it. If you practice vocal toning and interval singing and overtone singing for a period of time, you'll feel it. You'll feel at peace. You'll feel harmonized. So let's have an experiment here. I'll show you some of what I'm talking about. I'm going to use a simple tone generator app on my iPhone, which you can get probably for free, maybe $1 or $2. You do not need to buy a set of $400 tuning forks to get the benefit of sound therapy. If you want to, if those forks are calling you and you got the money, do that. But you don't need that. All you need is something that's going to generate a clear, constant tone of whatever frequency you're choosing. And we're going to do A440. It's a good place to start. It's like the beginner tone. And I'm going to, again, I'll put some images up of the different frequencies we're using and why, and that'll be coming from this book today that I'm sharing with you. So I'm going to play 440, and then what I'm going to do is sing another tone with it. And as I'm singing the tones, use your ears, and I've sent some of my students to this video, use your ears to see if you can hear the third note that happens automatically when this plays 440. I sing a note. You'll hear at least a third note. That's called an overtone. And that, when you hear that trinity of sound, that's when you know you've arrived at the note. I'm singing perfectly in tune with the A440 in order to generate that overtone. And then when I sing in unison with this, you'll hear all of the beating stop, and it'll just be a very clear, calm, like a glassy lake in the early morning. So we'll start with the A440, and I'm just going to sing a regular old major scale, and I'm going to stop on the 7, and we'll talk about that later, why. Again, listening for the overtones. Did you hear it? You will have heard the phone at the higher pitch, my voice at a lower pitch, and as I moved, you will have heard overtones, which were indicated by the notes on the screen. There are just some of the many, 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 many layers of overtones that were going on at that time. You won't be able to hear all of them. Some of them are beyond human hearing. Some of them are just really, really low in volume to where you wouldn't immediately pick up on it unless you knew what you were listening for. So producing overtones, either with your own voice, singing, overtone singing, or using another tone as a duet, that is what has the relaxing, the centering, the peace-inducing effect in your system. You're reharmonizing your whole system. If you looked at your blood under a microscope before and after this kind of singing, you'd be able to see how you feel. That it's much more harmonized. The blood cells are not clumping together, they're flowing more freely. All kinds of benefits happen. Your cortisol levels come down, that is measurable. We know that to be true. When you breathe in deeply and extend your exhale, as in singing, your nervous system ramps out of that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn stress response, and you come back into a more centered, neutral place. So even if that was the only thing that was happening, which it is not, you would feel so much better taking a break from being in your stress response and being able to settle into this more centered and peaceful state, relaxed state. So give yourself a little bit of time to play around with these tones and just singing. You don't have to be a singer. You don't have to have any musical skill whatsoever. It's not about being musical. It's just about making a sound. And if you are tone deaf or if you have trouble matching pitches, it doesn't matter. Any sound that you make is going to be music to your body. And if you sing a note and that note feels good to you, that's your note. Just make that sound or sing that note for today and let that be your practice. If you give yourself at least 15 minutes, you'll start to feel the effects pretty profoundly. Our Healing Harmony Circle class was about an hour long, and about 45 minutes of that we spent actually toning, and the rest of it was just chatting and, getting set up. If you give yourself an extended period of time like that to experience this practice, you will see profound shifts in your mood, in your consciousness. Your ability to digest food effectively relies on the relaxation response. Your heart rate can come down. Your blood pressure, if it's a little high, can come down. Just give it a shot. It's not going to hurt anything for you to tone, for you to sing harmonies, and you might be surprised at what it actually does for you. So I'm going to put this tone on, and I'm going to do a little bit more toning so that you can sing along, or so that if you wanted to, you can just listen and experience the benefits of this toning practice. So here we go, A440 again. Happy toning!